One of my favorite techniques in crochet is making cables. While these are probably more well known for their knitted variety, there's definitely a lot you can do with them in crochet and they still come out looking really good. Because there is so much variety with what you can do with these, it's not something I can really go over completely in just a video. So what I'm going to do is to go over a single variation of just a simple basic cable. There are definitely varieties you can even do on just this, let alone how complex and gorgeous these things can become. So I'm just going to focus on this single one. The pattern that I'm going to follow uses 4 post stitches, so you're going to need to start with a row of double crochet that is at a minimum 6 double crochet stitches long. The exact one I'm working with is 10 because I find if you have just one stitch on either side of your cable, the edges get a little bit warped. So I have, for this one, I'm going to have 3 on each side just to give it a nicer finished look. To start, you're going to want to crochet over to whatever point in your piece you want your cable to start. You're just going to do 4 front post treble crochet stitches in a row. If you don't know how to do this or back post treble crochet, you can check out my last video which goes over how to do them. Once you've finished your 4 treble post crochet, all you're going to do is finish off your row however your pattern or what you're looking for calls for. So I'm just going to do my 3 more double crochet stitches. Once you get to the end of the row, you're just going to chain 2 to turn it. And your next row is going to be pretty much the same thing, but where we did 4 front post stitches here, we're going to do 4 back post stitches in a row. Again, once you've finished your post stitches, you're just going to finish off your row like normal. And you want to be careful when working with the post stitches to make sure you don't end up doing your stitches in the wrong place and ending up with more in your row than you started with. And again, just turn it like normal. Alright, so at this point, this is what your cable should look like. So the side with your posts on it should be the one facing you. So again, we're just gonna crochet over to our cable real fast. Alright, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You're gonna do another front post treble crochet, but instead where we had been going into the stitch right below, you're gonna skip the first 2 here and get right over to the 3rd one from your hook and just finish your stitch like normal. And the next post stitch you do is gonna be the one right next to that, so that's pretty normal too. The next thing you're going to do, you're going to start your next post like normal, but here you're going to go back to this first stitch we skipped here. Just go into that like normal and finish your stitch. And then you're going to finish off this part of the cable by doing another post stitch into the second one we skipped, the one next to the one we just did. From here, we're just going to go back over to this side, and you're going to do just a regular old double crochet in the stitch after the one above the stitch here. Alright, so that's what it should look like at this point. So we're just going to finish off this row and turn it real fast. Again, just crochet over to where your cable is. And from here we're going to do a back post treble crochet, and you're going to do it in the order that you left your stitches in. So we're going to do these 2 first and then the 2 kind of underneath here. So we're going to just do these 2 like normal. getting to the next two is a little bit more difficult because they are a little bit covered up here. So you can see your two post stitches here and here. It is easiest to work them if you do kind of bend back your top post stitches here so you can actually see what you're doing. So you're just going to do your next two post stitches, making sure you get into the one that is the closest here. Finish that off like normal. And then do the one next to it here. From here you go back to your double crochet like normal. And turn when you reach the end of the row. So this is what your cable should look like now. From this point, what you're going to do is do 2 more rows of just 4 regular old post stitches in a row. From this point, what you're going to do is you're just going to repeat the same rows that we already did over and over again until you finish your piece. So you're always going to do your 2 rows of just 4 post stitches in a row. Then you're going to do your crossover and follow that by a row of just finishing off that crossover. And that's all there is to doing this particular cable stitch. You can do lots of varieties on this just by altering how many stitches you have on kind of each part of your cable. So again, you can have 3 each and it still works up exactly the same. You can use this kind of crossover on, 2 different rows you kind of have going like that. The possibilities are really endless. And that's how you do cables.